Calculations. As I wake up, I start doing the maths, quickly before it gets too late. Figure out what I can cope with today. Capacity to actually get stuff done equals hours of sleep plus levels of self-hate. On some days, to do even the most simple things, I need to use all my smarts. Amount of pain times being triggered by my own body equals if I can shower completely at all or just do parts. Getting dressed, I try to work out the next problem, which is particularly mean. Impact of medications divided by numbers of people I'm likely to meet must be smaller than how bisexual plus foreign plus vulnerable I seem. Clothes carefully chosen as I slowly negotiate the stairs while processing the worst one. Planned activities divided by current capacity must be greater than the impact of all the different discriminations that may come. Despite daily practice, I often get these equations wrong. Waddling to the taxi the sums continue. They never do slack. Age of driver times their maleness squared, plus their whiteness equals, what's wrong with you, hen? Plus, so where are you from? Plus, my personal favorite, when are you going to go back? There's no time for this nonsense at work, but still I have to calculate. The volume of productivity decreases at the rate of those kinds of questions, plus comments, plus looks that I am called on to answer, ignore, or debate. At home, there is no escape from the need to evaluate, to get the dishes done, or to feed the dog. Do I have to go to bed now so I can cope with tomorrow, or can I afford to watch TV with my love? I used to go out to see friends, or go to the shops, occasionally the movies, or even the park. But the geometry required for such activities became so complex I forgot how that used to work. If the sums don't turn out right, I can't afford to take that shower. Or sometimes can't leave my home, or at worst, my bed. I'm not very good at mathematics, and there are so many variables. I really wish I didn't have to do quite so many calculations in my head. So that was written by Sam from the chapter Bisexual and Disabled from this book, claiming the B in LGBT, or where it was originally published, it was called Purple Prose in Britain. And I wanted to start with that poem because it's both my experiences and how painful it is, and just I think that some of the people who visit this channel don't seem to realize how heavily my identity is hinged on being both disabled and bisexual, which is why this book was just so phenomenal, because I've never in my life seen this topic addressed whatsoever. And they do it. And they not only do it, they do everything. Like, that was specifically written by a person of color, so obviously some of those things don't happen to me, like, where are you from, and I wish you'd go back. But I still think it's important to read that, because that fucking happens every fucking day to somebody who isn't this shade. And that's bullshit. And all of this is accumulating to, well, my rambling rendition of my queer journey, really. I've been meaning to do this video for a while, and I'm hoping I have time for it today. I don't even know if this will see YouTube, but just in case, I'm going to try. Okay, so I have like 40 minutes. Well, 30 minutes. So I was a weird kid. Like, I was a queer kid in the sense that I was weird. So from the start, I was already fucked. Like, I had a masturbation problem. I had no nudity censorship. I was a really gross kid. I loved gross stuff. The grosser, the funnier to me. And I was really weird. I was a really weird kid, and that's one use of the phrase queer. But another thing that I never really knew until retrospect, honestly, my 30s. I gave off more than just weird vibes, and I want to talk about that in a moment. But first, I want to segue into something else. It has been stated before that there is a lot of disdain in social media, social everything, that girly stuff is inherently icky and like emasculating and like overtly feminine and infantilizing and just all this gross stuff, like all these gross synonyms. And when I was growing up, I believed them all. And I knew that didn't make me like other girls, and I didn't care. I said, what makes me less of a girl just because I don't like frilly shit? And I know that a lot of women go through that, especially women who aren't conventionally pretty. I'm trying to put that nicely. For people like me, which there aren't a lot of people like me, thank goodness, but like people whose looks have never been good from the start. Like from day one, I've been like insulted since kindergarten. They just knew, they honed in on me and they said, this one's weird, we have to make her our scapegoat. And so I was pretty boyish, I was poor, I was the youngest of 3, and I had a single mother. So that was also going against me. So we have this disdain for female stuff, and I was one of them. And for all my life, I basically eschewed mostly feminine stuff. Like, I really did try to fit in. I tried to wear the Club Monaco sweaters, and if any of you get that, I love you. You have no idea. But I even at one point wore the Club Monaco sweater. And like I wore the flare jeans, which were really in because like the 70s were making a sweep back. But for the most part, I dressed androgynous. I dressed like I do now, in t-shirts, in jeans, like things that are seen. I kind of see them as like sexist, like jeans, shirts, and pants. They're not male clothes, even though they were. Just like I see kind of like pencil skirts and blouses is not inherently female. I think men should start wearing that shit because like really suits are boring. They're sexy, but they can be boring too. Like a little variety of it. Anyway, we're off topic. So one of those things about womanhood, about me trying to be a woman, was makeup. And there was this one thing that I heard from a famous YouTuber that said that if cis women can wear makeup out to here, they can get away with it. No, they fucking can't. Not all cis women can get away with it. I can't get away with it. I don't wear makeup because, well, it's gross. It makes me feel greasy and dirty and gross. Okay, so that's just the fact of it. But it also looks bad on me. And don't tell me it's because I don't know how to apply it, because I have gone to places like that who like even my sisters tried to do it. Well, my sister tried to help me with it, and she plucked my eyebrows for me, but I've kept up with that. But that's it. And the height of my grooming ritual is making sure I have enough deodorant and perfume. That's it. Like, and making sure my hair is nice and shiny and pretty, and it keeps up with trims and stuff like that. It's so long now. Look at that. I think I have to get the split ends trimmed. What do you guys think? Leave in the comment. But so I shoot all of that. I would wear pants, shorts, baggy clothes, keep my hair this short. Like I had a fetish with chin length hair for like most of my childhood, and I would get the shit kicked out of me for it. I would be asked if I was a boy or a girl. Up until today, like I am miscategorized as transgender. By the way, I'm miscategorized as a trans woman, which they use it as a weapon. But honestly, can I just tell you guys a secret? It's a compliment. Like, I find it flattering that somebody thinks that I'm pretty enough to do that. Like, to me, that's beauty. That's a type of beauty that, because like, I'm not saying all trans women, but a lot of like public trans women are super femmes. So it's kind of funny to be called a trans woman, and they think it's an insult. But I'm androgynous, so I do look like the stereotype of a trans woman or a hairy lesbian, but it's kind of complimentary. I'm sorry, guys, but it is. Anyway, so because of that, I was seen as a tomboy, I thought, and that's why nobody likes me, because I'm a tomboy. The boys are afraid of me, and the girls are intimidated of me, and some of that must be true. But I was also really weird. I was an introvert. I didn't really get people, and when I was really, really young, I used to steal. I used to steal. The first thing I ever stole was in kindergarten. I stole this plush dog because it was so cute and none of the other kids were playing with it properly. It's just me looking back at myself like, come on. So I stole it, and I pretended that I was given it by the teacher and my parents, because why would a kid steal? They believed me. And I still have that dog. But that didn't last very long. I think I stopped stealing when I was in grade 1. Like, I just didn't see any point of it anymore. It just didn't make me happy, and it just made people miserable. But, so I eschewed all that. I was seen as already a deviant, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse as I grew older. And in high school, I started the first day of high school with my hair shorn off, wearing slacks, and wearing the dress shirt, like I can't remember if it was a female or male dress shirt, like if it did this or this, but I wore one of the ones that are shapeless. Right away, day one, they zeroed in on me and they started the attack. And I'm like, why? I changed my looks. I dress differently. I talk differently. I don't try as hard anymore. So why are you assholes still attacking me? I didn't know. And I didn't understand, and I didn't get it. And it hurts to look back and think it was because you were queer. It was because they knew you were queer and you didn't know. Like, when I was 14, I thought I was a lesbian because I read an article in Teen about it. And I'm like, well, I am attracted to women, so I guess I am a lesbian. And that carried up until grade 9. And then I realized, no, I still like guys, but I still like girls, but I don't know what that means. And I don't know what that is. And this was 1999. Like 1999, 2000. Like, I was 15, 16. And I didn't have access to the internet as much as I would have liked. Because I think if I had that access, I probably would have done a lot better. Although I think access did not do a lot of good things, because I had online relationships and they nearly destroyed me. But so I didn't realize back then that I was being bullied because I was a gender deviant. I was being called a man because I wasn't acting like a woman, and it hurt because I knew I was a woman. I knew, except for like maybe 1 year where I was confused and I thought maybe they're right and maybe I am a man, but it didn't work. It didn't feel right. And I knew I was a woman. And that's why it hurt. Not because I was being called queer. It was because I wasn't being seen as what I am. Just a non-conforming woman. And I can see this now as an adult because I'm seeing it today when I pick fights on Twitter. They do the same shit. And I'm like, this is the same kind of stuff that the high school people did to me. Is there a connection? There is a connection. And I'm it. So... but I just didn't get it. I didn't know. And by the time, but I knew what I was. Not that they knew that that's what I was being tormented for. I knew what I was I knew what it was for real when I fell in love with my best friend. And sorry. She broke my heart in more ways than one. And that's when I knew I was bi, or at least pan. Actually, demi. Because I loved her for so long and she just didn't see me. And it was torture. Don't fall in love with your straight best friends. Because they will just crush you. They will crush you. And some are too far up their own asses to see it, and they don't care. So I knew for sure that I was bi when that happened. And then my assault happened. Not long after I turned 16. So it's just like, I'm bi and nobody likes me anyway. This was the fucking point. And I did try one more time, and that went bad too. Anyway, so I just kind of stopped after that. And after after an online breakup that went really bad, just started going back to school. I went back for OAC. And sorry. Bet you guys wish I cut now, huh? So the summer of after my assault, I started to starve myself. And then the summer after that, we got him. And that saved my life. And then, so there's this thing, there's used to be this thing in Ontario where we used to have 13 grades, but then Mike Harris slashed everything and condensed them all at first into grades 9 to 12, and then an optional grade 13. My class, the class of 2002, was the last to have the OAC option. So in 2003 I went back. Well, 2002, 2003 I went back. And I didn't have to, but there were some writing courses that I wanted to take. And I was just like, okay, I can quit anytime. It doesn't matter. So I went to, like, this was like, I'd already fucked up, like, given up on everyone, everything, online, offline, everything. And then I went to the library on my lunch. I found my husband. Well, he found me. And another thing that really upsets me about this, too, about being queer, and, like, it took me years to accept that I'm bisexual, and that, well, romantic demisexual, and it means a lot to me, because it's shaped a lot to do with my life, and, like, I have been abused for it, I have suffered for it, I have lost a lot for it, and I'm reclaiming it, because it's who I am, and I don't want to be ashamed of it anymore. I don't want to be ashamed for being non-gender conforming anymore. I'm tired of it. I don't... What are you doing? Hello, sorry. But, Jesus, sorry, I didn't realize I was gonna cry. So I met him, and we talked about sex, and
Hello. What?
I'm filming.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I gotta quit now. Too long didn't read. This is just part 1. I'll continue part 2 later. Bye.